Hello everyone, Silver here and welcome to part 4 of my FreeSpace story series. Today we take a look at the events of FreeSpace 2's main campaign, but before we start, the usual spoiler warning: this video contains major story points for FreeSpace 2's main campaign, so if you don't want to be spoiled, please play the game first. In 2367, the NTF rebellion had been going on for 18 months, without any side being able to gain a major advantage, and so the main battle areas were still the Epsilon Pegasi system, Deneb and Alpha Centauri. A new offensive led by the GTD Aquitaine of the 3rd Fleet in Capella was the Alliance's latest attempt to gain an advantage in the Deneb system. During one engagement, a fighter squad of the Aquitaine encountered the NTF Iceni, Admiral Bosch's flagship, in an asteroid field in Deneb. The frigate had been hiding in this asteroid field for quite some time, disguised as an asteroid, but jumped away as soon as its cover was blown. Intelligence could not provide any explanation for Bosch's presence in that system, and an attempt to capture the Iceni before it could jump away failed. Before the battle at Deneb was complete, the Aquitaine was recalled to Capella after a surprise Shivan attack at the Gamma Draconis jump node in that system, in which the GTC Vigilant was destroyed while on patrol in that area. The Aquitaine led a strike team into the Gamma Draconis system, where a Shivan beachhead was detected near a previously unknown subspace portal. Since that portal never showed up on any previous scans, it was surmised that it was recently activated, drawing the Shivans into that system. The strike team was able to destroy the Shivan beachhead and then proceeded into the area behind the subspace portal, which turned out to be a large nebula, possibly the remnant of a supernova. Since the nebula drastically decreased the sensor range of Allied ships, several fighter wings were sent out for a reconnaissance mission. One of those wings disappeared during that mission, another one found a Terran cruiser, the NTC Trinity. Before the crew of the Trinity could be interrogated, the ship was unfortunately destroyed by Shivans. Despite those mysteries, the Allied force continued to explore the area, eventually discovering the Shivan command ship, a destroyer that they designated Ravana. They managed to destroy that ship, hoping that would decrease the Shivan activity in that nebula. But before the mission in the nebula could go on, the Aquitaine was recalled to Allied space as the NTF had conducted a large-scale attack on the Epsilon Pegasi system, inflicting massive damage to the 6th Fleet in that system. While providing cover for the Allied headquarters on Enif Station in Epsilon Pegasi, the pilots sent out by the Aquitaine were witnesses of the first deployment of the GTVA Colossus, which after almost 20 years had recently been completed. With the massive firepower of that warship, the Allied forces were able to repel the NTF attack and even destroy the Repulse, the command ship of Admiral Koth, who was in charge of the Epsilon Pegasi attack. After that defeat, the rebels retreated to their core systems of Regulus, Polaris and Sirius, while Allied command once again shifted their focus to the nebula beyond Gamma Draconis. The Aquitaine was tasked to test several new systems that would help the Alliance improve their combat efficiency in that special environment, including the new AWACS system and the Pegasus stealth fighter. But after several days of testing, the Aquitaine once again had to retreat to Gamma Draconis without inflicting any significant damage to the Shivan force in the nebula. Reason for this was once again a rebel incursion, as after losing the Sirius system to the Alliance, Admiral Bosch had ordered all of his warships to make a move for Gamma Draconis and the subspace portal, designated Knossos, to make a jump to the nebula. While Allied forces had already destroyed several NTF warships en route to Gamma Draconis, the Aquitaine was tasked with first defending the Capella jump node in Gamma Draconis, destroying any ships that arrived in that system, then attacking NTF rallying points throughout Gamma Draconis, and at the third step, blockading the Knossos subspace portal and preventing any NTF ships from jumping to the nebula. The blockading force led by the GTVA Colossus was successful in preventing most NTF ships from jumping to the nebula, with the exception of the NTF Iceni, thanks in part to NTF saboteurs on board the Colossus that disabled their fire control system in the moment when the NTF Iceni arrived and jumped to the nebula. But with most of their warships destroyed and Admiral Bosch on the run, the anti-F rebellion officially was over, and Allied Command now had the chance to fully concentrate on their operations in the nebula. While conducting raids on Sheevan targets in the nebula, a Vesudan strike force encountered a massive warship that even surpassed the Lucifer super destroyer, a juggernaut designated Satanas. When this juggernaut was detected en route to Gamma Draconis, all Allied forces were ordered to retreat to that system, and a plan was set in motion to destroy the Noso subspace portal to prevent the Satanas from arriving in Allied space. While a full destruction of the portal could be achieved, it was too late. The jump node to the nebula was already stable enough to stay open even without the portal sustaining it, and minutes after its destruction, the Satanas arrived in Gamma Draconis. As the Alliance did not have enough firepower in Gamma Draconis to stop the Satanas, all hopes rested on the Colossus in Capella to destroy the Juggernaut. A Vesudan strike team managed to destroy the forward beam cannons of the Satanas shortly before it jumped to Capella, giving the Colossus a real fighting chance. And the Colossus was in fact able to destroy the Satanas, but for doing this she had to push her weapon systems to the absolute maximum, inflicting massive internal damage in the process. With the Satanas destroyed, Allied Command ordered the fleet back to the nebula to locate Admiral Bosch and destroy any remaining Sheevan ships. A Vesudan wing was able to locate the Iceni, which at that point was in negotiations with the Sheevans. Before a capture team could arrive, Admiral Bosch and his command crew boarded a Sheevan transport which jumped away, leaving the Iceni behind. Sheevan forces then attacked that ship, but could be repelled by Allied forces, giving an extraction team enough time to retrieve the Iceni's crew before the ship self-destructed. While pursuing the Sheevan transport, the Vesudan unit found another subspace portal in the nebula, but before any expedition could be sent through, multiple Sheevan juggernauts were located in the nebula and the GVD Psamtik was lost to one of them. Allied Command ordered another full retreat of all forces to Allied space. As even the Colossus would not have a chance against multiple juggernauts, Command ordered the full evacuation of the Capella star system and started to develop a contingency plan to save the rest of the Alliance. While the evacuation was carried out despite heavy Sheevan resistance and more Satanas juggernauts pouring into Capella, gathering at its star, Allied Command revealed their plan to repeat the events of the destruction of the Lucifer and collapse all jump nodes within Capella to isolate the system from the rest of Terran Vesudan space. The GTD Bastion was sent out to collapse the Epsilon Pegasi jump node, and while the ship entered subspace, the meson bombs placed on board detonated, successfully closing the jump node to Epsilon Pegasi. The price of that, however, was high, as the Colossus, which had tried to create a diversion, was lost with all hands on board in battle with the Sheevan Juggernaut. While the last evacuation transports were en route to the Vega jump node and the GTD Nereid was prepared to collapse that node as well, the Sheevan Juggernauts around the Capella star emitted a strange subspace field which eventually led to the star going supernova. Allied ships rushed to the jump node to escape the system, but not all of them made it in time, and they were destroyed by the nova's shockwave. Shortly thereafter, the Nereid passed through the jump node, detonating like the Bastion, and collapsed the jump node to Vega, completely isolating the Capella system as planned. With the Sheevans trapped inside Capella and the GTVA safe for the moment, the Alliance now had to deal with the aftermath of this catastrophe. And this is where the game ends, and since there were no more FreeSpace game, there's no further official canon story telling what happened after Capella. So this is all of the canon story for FreeSpace, but I do intend to make several more videos telling the non-canon story of some selected fan-made campaigns which are of relevance for my New Path project. I also plan to make several videos about the FreeSpace mission editor thread. Since there are no good video tutorials on YouTube, I decided to make them myself to help all of you who may be interested in joining me in my New Path project, how to make FreeSpace missions. So stay tuned, thank you for watching so far, see you in one of my next videos if you like to. Until then, take care and goodbye.